Before the video starts, I just want to apologise for the video quality. I've put a video filter on and it just makes the whole thing look crap. I also want to say that I recorded the original audio for this video at the end of season 2 and I tried to get out really quickly and it just didn't happen. Things got in the way and I was trying to get used to Resolve, which is the program I'm using to edit. And whilst editing, I've realised I've forgot a few talking points that I had about the game, as well as talking a bit more about some of the points that I didn't really explain well in the original audio. So when I'm talking whilst editing, I'll just have a little thing in the bottom saying this is editing me talking. That's everything I've got to say before the video starts, so here it is.
Back in the summer last year, me and a group of my friends decided to buy the game, and it's safe to say we're feeling a bit of buyer's remorse now. This has to be the worst multiplayer on a COD game I've ever played. It is kind of undescribable how bad this game can be. I've got a list of things that are wrong. First is the hit reg on PC. Half of your shots won't register, or at least half of your first shots won't register. I don't know if this is trying to make it fair between console and PC, but it just doesn't work. Next, and this is probably the worst one in my opinion, is all the bugs and glitches. For about 2 weeks, I couldn't join any type of game. I don't know if that was like a shadow ban, because it never said anything. I just could never join a game. And there's also the scope problems. If you spawn in sprint and then scope down your sight, sometimes it won't show a scope and just show a zoomed in version of your screen. One of my friends had a glitch where every time he scoped in, his screen would turn to black. He had to reinstall the entire game just to fix it. An insane amount of errors you get. If you're trying to join someone's party, it'll say that they're not in a lobby or not in a joinable lobby. Sometimes it'll say they're in a game when they're just sitting waiting for you. There's also the balancing. For like a good solid 2 months, the AK-47 has just ran every single multiplayer game. That and the dual wield magnums, because pretty much up until the point I'm recording this, they were like a one-shot kill. There's also no flinch on things like sniper rifles and LMGs, which is quite annoying. There are a few other weapon balancing issues, like the LC-10 is pretty overpowered in comparison to most of the other SMGs. But something that I didn't mention, which I do actually like, is the amount of weapons they are actually adding into the game with each season. So that is a positive with the game. This might just be me, but the visibility on the game is pretty bad. For maps like Nuketown, you can hardly see people. I think this might be to push like the torch attachment, but it just doesn't work and it's just very annoying.
Just to make the visibility a bit better for me, I had to put on an NVIDIA filter just to be able to see some enemies.
Then there's the score streaks. When I first heard about this, I was interested, and now I despise them. If you've ever played Domination, then you'll know at the second half of every game, everyone uses their score streak at the exact same time. So for about 20 seconds, you won't be able to go mid because there's just going to be tons of napalm strikes or cruise missiles hitting it. Another one is the maps. Not that the maps are really bad. Some of them are, like Cartel, I despise that map, but there's a lack of maps. When the game was released, I think there was something like 8, and the maps that they have re-released, there's been 3 remakes, Nuketown, Raid, and Express, and I think 1 new map, which is the Pines.
I don't actually mind the Pines on like most of the respawn modes. It's only in Search because I don't think it's very well designed. And with Apocalypse, I don't think it's a bad map either, but for Search it's pretty crap as well. Like, I usually don't enjoy playing either of them on Search.
The last one, and probably like the biggest one for any player, is Sbmm. This just ruins the game. After like 2 or 3 games, all the fun is gone. It's just full of people who will sit in a corner and camp with the best guns in the game, or with thermal scopes and smokes. What makes it worse is the fact that they added a ranked mode, so we have skill-based matchmaking in the ranked and skill-based matchmaking in the casual, which doesn't make sense to me. Why would you have 2 modes? Speaking of ranked, I think that is probably the worst competitive system I have ever seen. Every 3 days your rank is replaced and you're put into a ladder again. I don't know why they couldn't have even taken inspiration from other titles like Overwatch. I don't understand why they had to have this equation behind your rank. And another thing about the ranking is the actual placements really don't matter. I think it was iMarksman who did knife only for like 4 games and still got in the top tier even though we lost every single one of them. It doesn't seem like the rank worked.
A few more points that I forget to mention in the video is like the voting for map system. In Black Ops 2, if you didn't like either of the maps you were voting on, you could have voted for a random one. So you definitely knew you weren't playing on the other two maps. The best play isn't really the best play. It seems like it's just a random clip from the game sometimes. Someone could like graze someone and that could make best play. Meanwhile, the guy who's just got a quad feed just doesn't get any recognition. The skins in the battle pass are pretty weak. There isn't like a single emote in the first two battle passes, and the skins are pretty crap in my opinion. They constantly change the modes, so they don't just add a new mode and keep it. Like they added prop hunt and then removed it from season 1. They've added gunfight and removed it from season 2. I think it's to give it that fear of missing out, but in the long run you're just driving players away because they're only going to play for the time that mode is in and then leave the game again. They didn't have like a party playlist on launch, they still don't, so you just can't have like a fun time with your friends and play like One in the Chamber or Gun Game or something like that. Another thing which is kind of a little nitpick from me is with the playlist, you can't see the player count, which again you used to in like Black Ops 2, so you could like see the most popular modes if you wanted just to get right into a game. You know, you'd pick like TDM or some like really populated mode. I do like the gunfights they've added. I like the tournament idea and like being rewarded for winning. But that's a good idea, so it's probably going to get removed again. I don't really have high hopes for Season 3. I don't think it's going to improve a lot. I think I do like the base game. It's why I play it so much, but it's just kind of bad at the moment. So that was me just kind of ranting about how bad the multiplayer on this game is. I think that's everything. Cool.